Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how you can deploy a React application on Ipfs. Alright, so for those of you that you don't know anything about what is Ipfs, I'm going to cover everything in this video, but let me just tell you that I truly believe that this is going to be the future of hosting your own web applications, and I'm going to tell you in this video what is really all the advantages of using it. So in this video I'm going to cover what we're going to do, which will be deploying a React application onto the Ipfs, and we're going to be using a cool platform that I found out, Fleek. So I'm going to tell you what is actually Ipfs. I just mentioned it in here, but probably you never heard about it. I'm going to tell you what is it. I'm going to tell you what are the advantages of creating a decentralized app. So I'm going to tell you what is centralized apps, what are decentralized apps, and I'm going to tell you which one are the big flaws of the centralized apps. Okay, so if we get started in here, what is Ipfs? So Ipfs stands for the Interplanetary File System. So basically this is a protocol and a peer-to-peer network for storing and sharing data in a distributed file system. Think of these almost like torrents. I'm not sure if you ever use torrents or not to download something, but we actually have in here even two different diagrams. So you can see that the peer-to-peer network is when you have a couple of computers that they are sharing some files in between them. So the files, they are stored in different computers and people, they can share them in between each other. But the problem, so this is called an actual decentralized system, okay? Because all the information is spread across different computers. But the problem is that nowadays we are having most of the data online being stored on centralized systems. Just think about, for example, Google, just Amazon and so on. All the big data that we have on the internet nowadays is stored on centralized systems. Like, imagine you have a server in here and this server is sharing this to other people. But there is a lot of problems with this kind of approach, as I'm going to show you in the front. Some of them could be, for example, imagine that this server goes down. Everyone loses access to all the information, to all the data that is on this server. And imagine that if someone wants to make a censorship to this server, imagine that you are in a country that they want to block the connection to this server, no one will have access to this information. But on the other hand, if you are using this kind of network like a decentralized system, is really gonna overcome all these problems. So Ipfs solves the problem of centralization and censorship of data information, like I mentioned now, and the Ipfs was designed to make the web faster, safer, and open to everyone. So what are the problems with the centralized data? Like I just mentioned this. Nowadays, if you are trying to look for some kind of information, some kind of data, you just go to your URL on the browser, you type down something that you are looking for, and then you're going to come with the results. But the problem is that nowadays, all these big tech giants like Amazon, like Facebook, Google, all of them, they are controlling the most information, the most data on all the internet. And there is a big problem with this, is that all those data that they have, you have an image in here, just like trying to represent one of these big centralized hubs that they have with full of servers and so on. If for some reason these servers, they go down, there is like a fire in there or something happens, everyone else in the world, they will lose access to that data, to that information in there. And also, because this information is all stored in just one place, this makes it a good target for cyber attacks. If people that they are trying to hack those systems, they gain access to those systems, to those servers, they will get all the data that is stored in there. Okay, so what are actually the advantages of using IPFS? So the advantages of using these IPFS is that it's a decentralized system, so it means that the data is not just stored on one server on one computer, but is stored across multiple nodes, multiple computers around the internet. So this actually makes it a great way to combat, to face this kind of censorship that might have on some countries, because the data is not just stored in one place. And also because if someone is gonna try to make a cyber attack to one of the servers, to one of the computers, they will not have access to all the data. Remember that when you have a decentralized system, the data is spread all across different computers. So if someone tries to hack one computer, they will not have access to all that data that they might be looking for. So when you upload a file, for example, some kind of project or something into IPFS, that project, that file will have assigned to it a unique hash. It's going to be a unique hash to that file, for example. So this could be thought as a fingerprint, because it's completely unique. So this actually makes it different from the other data that you have on centralized systems, because when you are looking for that data, you don't need to specify where is that data located. Okay, it's not location based. You just need to look for the whatever is the data that you are looking for. You don't need to specify a location, a URL or anything. So this is makes it much easier for you to grab the data that you want. Okay, so finally, we are going to use the Fleeq platform. So the Fleeq platform will allow you to upload your website completely for free. This Fleeq platform is actually built on top of IPFS, so it has all these functionalities like the integrated privacy encryption, the peer-to-peer functionality with your websites that you're gonna upload. And one of the cool things about this platform is that there is a free hosting plan which allows you to have unlimited projects, and also you have like 50 gigabytes of bandwidth, which is more than enough for you to get started with your projects. Then this platform in here has a couple of products. That is hosting, if you want to host your own projects, like I said. There is storage, and finally you have the space daemon, which will allow you to build privacy-focused peer-to-peer apps. Alright, so one of the advantages well about using this platform, Fleek, is that when you upload files to it, those files can actually be retrieved up to as 10 times faster as if you would have just them on IPFS platform. Finally, we got in here the advantages of using the hosting with Fleek. So one of them will be that you can host your own site in there on the IPFS, because the platform is built on top of the IPFS. Another thing that you can have in here, another advantage, is that there is an easy connection with your GitHub. Okay, you will see in a second that I'm going to build a React app now. So I'm going to push all my code to my GitHub account, and then I can connect my GitHub account with Fleek. Very, very easy. You will see it's just a couple of clicks and everything is done. And then finally you have a performant built-in CDN, which will make everything much more easier for you. And finally we have this performant built-in content delivery network, which will make your website much faster. As you can see as well, there is one extra advantage, which is when you are uploading your project onto Fleek, it automatically detects if it's a React project, if it's a Gatsby, Next.js, and so on. So now that we got all this introduction in here, let's actually start creating a new application. So I'm going to go onto my terminal and I'm going to install a new React application. For that, I'm going to do npx create -react-app, and now I'm going to call this application, for example, react-ipfs, and I'm going to put in here just app. Okay, React IPFS app. So let's install this React application in here locally on my machine, and once this is done, we can come back to it. Alright, so now our application is all installed, so let's open this with Visual Studio Code. So I'm gonna go in here, File, Open Folder, and the folder that I wanna open is inside. We call this React, where was it? React IPFS app. Okay, so I'm gonna open this folder. Okay, so I got all my code in here. I'm gonna open the terminal as well. Now, I wanna send all this code that I have in here to my GitHub account. So I'm gonna go to my GitHub account. I'm gonna create a new repository. Okay, so I'm gonna go in here, new repository, and I'm gonna call this one React-IPFS-app. This is the name of this repository that I want to create. Okay, creating this repository, I'm gonna copy this line that it says git remote add origin. Okay, so I'm gonna go in here on my terminal. I'm gonna put this command git remote add origin to this link. Now I'm just gonna do git push origin master. So I want to push all this code that I have in here from this project that I just installed. I want to push it onto my GitHub. Let's see if it's actually there now. Okay, I'm going to go in here, and as you guys can see, we got all the code in there. So this is fine. Now that we got all our code in our GitHub account, it's time to go to the Fleeq platform. Okay, so if you guys go, oops, is not this one, is this one. So fleek.co, this is the platform that we are using. As you guys can see, there is storage, there is hosting, there is IPFS gateway, and there is going to be some databases soon. So I want you to sign up for it. And once you guys sign up for it, you will see this kind of page in here. At the moment, I don't have any website in here. So it says add a new website. This is the page that you will see when you are getting started. If I'm going to click in here, add a new website, now it's going to tell me if I want to have a continuous deployment, which means that if I want to change my website later on, I only need to push my code to GitHub, and then Fleek in here is going to make some continuous deployment from my GitHub to the platform. That's it. Look, I'm going to click connect with my GitHub, and now down here it says can't see your repo here. Click configure the Fleek app on GitHub. So let's do that. I'm going to click in here. It's going to open a pop-up. Now this is going to ask me to connect my application with Fleek. Instead of selecting all the repositories, I actually want to select just this one that I want to use right now. So I'm going to put select repositories, and the name was IPFS, let me see, this one, React IPFS app. This is the one that I just installed. So we will have access to read and so on. Let's do install and authorize. Okay, so now that this is installed, we got this authorized, so we are all good. Okay, so now if you click in here on the right, there is an arrow. Okay, so you can see all these advanced things. As you can see, you don't need to touch anything, but if you notice, it even automatically detects that this is a React app. So you just need to click where it says deploy the site. Okay, so now this is actually going to start deploying your site, and you will see in here all the messages, all the status of it being deployed. Once it's done, you got in here on the top at the moment saying site deploy in progress. We are going to have a unique link that we can visit and check our project. So let's just wait a bit, and once this is done, I'm going to come back to you. Alright, so looks like that our website is completely deployed now. If you scroll up, you will see in here on the top that this is going to be the link where you can see your project. So if I'm going to click on it to open, I can see that, look, this is my React app that I just installed. Okay, and look, if you click in here on settings on the side, you can see this is the name of your project in here, this is the owner, and then if you remember, I told you that every time that you upload something on IPFS, there is going to be a hash assigned to it, which is like a fingerprint, and there it is. This is the hash. Look, you even got an SSL certificate as well. And if you want, let's go, I think is in here on overview. Yeah, if you click on overview, you can even add or buy a domain for your app. It's completely up to you. But right now, using this link that you got on the top, Blue Morning, I think it's going to be every time a different kind of link, depending on your installation, of course. You can send this link to anyone in the world and they will be able to access your project. Now, we got this all done, but now you're gonna ask me, what if I want to do some changes to my project, how I'm gonna update this in here? Everything is automatic, guys. Everything is a continuous deployment. So if I do some changes on my project and I push the code onto GitHub, then it will be a continuous deployment, so it will connect to Fleek and it will update automatically your project. Let's try it. So on my app.js, I'm just going to delete all the code inside. Okay, so I'm gonna put in here my React app on Fleek. Okay, so I need to put a div. I just deleted by mistake. Okay, so I have a div in here and I'm actually going to turn the background of the body to be orange, for example. So on my app.css, I'm going to target the body of my page and I'm going to set the background color to be orange, for example. Okay, so I'm going to save this. And now, obviously, I need to commit these changes with my Git. So I'm going to clear this. So I'm going to do Git status. It tells me that there is 2 files that I need to save, which is the source app.css and source app.js. Let's add them to the staging area. Okay, source app.css, and I'm going to add my source app.js. Let's do git status again, make sure everything is fine. So we got everything on the staging area. Now I just need to do a commit. Okay, I'm gonna say, for example, adding background color. Okay, this is the name of my commit. Now I want to push this commit onto my GitHub. Okay, I'm gonna do git push origin master. Okay, so I pushed my code onto my GitHub. Let's check that. So if I go onto my GitHub, I refresh the page, you will see, where do I have these? I got 2 commits in here. As you can see, we got this adding background color, which has been done 34 seconds ago. So this will have a continuous deployment with our platform Fleek. So if I go to my, where is it? To my Fleek. Now, let me just go back to my deploys. So if I click in here on the deploys, as you guys can see, look, there is a production going on in here for this newest commit that we put on our GitHub. So as you guys can see, it's in progress, and I believe that it should take maybe like 1 or 2 minutes. It's gonna be the same like the previous deployment that you have. So let's just wait 1-2 minutes, and once it's done, it's gonna be saying published, and then we can see it live on the link that we got on the top. So once this is done, I'll come back to you. Alright, so as you can see, our latest commit on GitHub has been published now in here on Fleek. So if I go to my page and I refresh it, okay, let's see what's gonna happen. I can see my React app on Fleek, and I can see the background color of my application that is orange. Alright guys, so that's it for this tutorial in here on how to upload your React app onto IPFS. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I want you to give it a try in here on this platform Fleek. Like I said, it's completely free and it's very easy to install, as you could see. It's very easy for you to deploy your applications. So I have a link in here on the description, have a look on it. And that's it, guys. That's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know down below, and I will see you in the next video.